Welcome back, everybody, to the Futlife Tv Podcast. Thank you for joining us again. In case you missed it, there was a lot of great Champions League matches and a lot of league matches in the past week and weekend that we're going to get into today. We're going to talk about the results and just talk about what's going on in the football world this week and some upcoming matches that are going on this weekend. Let's get right into the results of the Champions League. We have Apoel and Dortmund tying at 1-1. Besiktas beating Monaco 2-1. Liverpool beating Maribor 7-0. Leipzig beating Porto 3-2. Real Madrid tying Tottenham 1-1. Man City beating Napoli 2-1. Shakhtar beating Feyenoord 2-1. Spartak Moscow beating Sevilla 5-1. Qarbak and Atletico Madrid tying 0-0. CSKA Moscow losing to Basel 2-0. Juventus beating Sporting 2-1. Barcelona beating Olympiacos 3-1. Anderlecht losing to PSG 4-0. Bayern beating Celtic 3-0. Chelsea and Roma 3-3. Manchester United beating Benfica 1-0. And those were the Champions League results for this week. A lot of great matches, exciting matches. Couple of boring games, but a lot of goals, a lot of great goals as well. And I really enjoyed it myself. I thought this was a great week for the Champions League games. And games like Chelsea and Roma, 3-3, exciting match, wonderful goals. David Luiz, they sacrificed David Luiz. I think he had a calf injury. They didn't want to risk him. I think if it wasn't that bad, they probably should have kept him in the game. Well, it really doesn't matter anyway because Chelsea are going through. So they're looking at the bigger picture. They don't want to risk their big man back there. And you see how bad it will be without Luiz and back there. So, I mean, especially on set pieces, on crosses, those things, you need your big man to be able to defend those set pieces, be able to head those balls out. A couple of the goals, I believe, if David Luiz was there, it would have been better. You see, when he went out, the defensive work in the midfield was gone, and it backfired. It went horribly wrong for them, and taking Hazard out didn't help anything out because I think Chelsea could have came back and won that game if they would have kept pushing and Hazard would have stayed. But like I said, Conte is looking at the bigger picture. He's not too concerned. He wants to play it safe and wants to keep his players. He does have to play well in the league this weekend. This is a big league. They just had the loss. So Champions League is really important for them to do well next session as well. So he just wanted to play it safe. Took his players out. Didn't want to have any more injuries. Had a lot of injuries already. Key players that are missing. Conte is one of them. I think he would have made a big difference in this game because then you see David Luiz, he can drop back and defend, and Conte can play that defensive midfield role where he can do the defensive work and attacking. Conte is a great player. He's one of those players that he really is a difference maker. You can tell in these games. Chelsea hasn't had him, and you can really see that he's really been missing. So definitely would have been, I believe, would have been a different game if Conte would have been playing, but it's just the injuries. Morata as well, I don't believe he was at 100%. He just recovered from a hamstring injury. I think he was still recovering. So, but taking nothing away from Roma. Roma played great. They scored beautiful goals. Dzeko played wonderful, had beautiful goals, 2 great goals. One of the goals that he scored off the volley, left-footed volley from the cross, just beautiful ball through and over his shoulder, and just beautiful finish. It really was a great goal. So great job to Roma for keeping it together and getting that 1 point at Stamford Bridge. So it was, all in all, it was a great match. Very, very exciting match. So I enjoyed watching that match. And one match I wasn't so excited to see was Man U and Benfica match, which Man U got the 3 points. Well played. Great strategy, I guess. Very boring play. But at the end of the day, Man U did get the 3 points. A lot of people are going to criticize Jose Mourinho and his tactics and the way he he plays it safe at away games, especially in the Champions League. But at the end of the day, look at the results. 1-0 and away in the Champions League, 3 points. That's good. That's a great result. Yes, it was a boring match. Yes, they could have pressed more. But the result was there. And here's the thing is, for a manager and for the team, what's more important? Yes, I know we all love an exciting match. We want a toe-to-toe battle. We want both teams going at it, trying to score on each other, trying to see who can get the most goals. That would be beautiful. But we are dealing with different times now, and coaches are getting more, they are playing more safe, especially Mourinho. Mourinho's been criticized over the years for playing it really safe. But if he's getting the results, is he really the villain? Can you really look at him as the bad guy, as, oh, he's ruining football? Well, the important thing for him, he wants to win trophies. That's what's important to him. And playing it safe sometimes can help, and you see in Benfica it did. He knew the goalkeeper was an 18-year-old goalie. His youngest goalie, I believe, in the Champions League. He knew that this would be too much for the goalie, that he would crack eventually, that he would make mistakes, and he urged his players to keep, on set pieces, keep putting him in there. Keep pressuring the goalie on those on corners, on all those things. Eventually, the goalie cracked, and it worked. He played it safe defensively. He had everyone defending, but he had a plan. He didn't just say 11 men in the box, defend till the game is over. Let's try to get 3, but we'll settle for the draw. No, he had a game plan. He stuck with his game plan, and at the end of the day, his game plan paid off. So you can criticize him, but the results are good. The results are very good for Man U, and I'm sure no Man U fan will be mad at that. But they did win 1-0 in a way, and that's a great result for Man U. That's what you want. You want those 3 points away. Those 3 away points are very crucial. But it was a very boring match. Very boring match. I'm sure a lot of people that aren't Man U fans will criticize Jose and the way they played. But I'm sure he's used to it. He's been getting criticized for all of his career. So, Man City and Napoli. Started out, Man City had a great start. Man City was on fire at the beginning, pressuring great, scored 2 goals, doing very well. Passing was great. They just looked like they had a lot of confidence. They were just the team that was on fire, ready to go. Slowed down second half. Second half, Napoli started getting it together, started getting more more control of the game. They did get a goal back and made the game closer. And Man City just, after the first half, Man City just kind of just crashed down, which is, I don't know what that was all about. But first half, they played well, and they could have played more. I think if Aguero was in the game, I believe the way they were playing in that first half, I really believe they could have had more goals in that first half. The way they were pushing, the way they were pressing in. Jesus was playing the striker today, and I can't help but think that if Aguero was there, they would have had more goals in that first half the way they were playing. But he is injured, and they have to cope without him, and they did. They won the game 2-1. But Napoli did fight back second half, and they could have had a couple more goals, or could have at least draw. But Man City played well to keep the results the way it was, and to win that game, and to win that 3 points. So that was a great game. I enjoyed watching that game as well. Again, Champions League games, they're all exciting matches. You see the top teams in Europe just battling it out, and who's not going to want to watch these games? Games like Madrid and Tottenham. Great match. I believe Tottenham played scared and nervous. I think they were scared of the bigger team. I think every time Tottenham tried to play a little calm and kept possession of the game, kept possession of the ball, they played very well. And I think Tottenham could have won the game. There was a penalty that should have been called, but there's always calls that are going to go missing. But I just think Tottenham didn't. They played scared. They really were. They seemed like they were scared and nervous. They didn't. When they had the ball, they would lose it easily. And I think every time they played a little calm and they kept it together and they played around, they tried to keep possession of the ball, they played well. And I think they could have won that game, especially against the Madrid, who has not been in the top form, who has not played that well recently. And you could see in that game. I really think Tottenham should have won that game. Again, Madrid did have a lot of chances to score more goals. They just couldn't do it as well. But Tottenham just played scared. I think if they had more confidence, if they played with more confidence, that they would have been able to win this game. But again, it is a big step for them. They're playing a Madrid team with all these big stars and at a big stage, and they got the draw away. So it's still great results for Tottenham. But I really believe they could have won that game. I really do. I think if they played with more confidence, they would have kept calm and playing the ball, keeping position. They would have played a lot better, and they would have won that game. I really believe that. But nevertheless, great game, great result for Tottenham getting the draw away. So not a bad result at all. One game I was really surprised about was the Sevilla and Spartak Moscow. I thought it was going to be either a draw or Sevilla might win 1-0, 2-1. Boy, was I wrong. 5-1. Wonderful result if you're a Spartak Moscow fan. But I was really surprised. I really thought Sevilla would play better. Moscow just dominated the game. Just took advantage of every mistake. Just really did dominate the game. Hats off to them. Well played. Great game, a lot of great goals. 6 goals scored in that match. I love it. I love watching games with lots of goals in it. And another one was Liverpool. Liverpool and Maribor. Liverpool, 7 goals. Liverpool's had a frustrating season so far, but man, they took that frustration out in this game. 7 goals. All their top players were scoring. Everyone that's expected to score was scoring. You saw a different Liverpool. Can they keep it going? Can they keep that form going? Can those players up top that are scoring those goals, can they be consistent? Can they carry it on to this weekend? Can they keep it on to next weekend, next Champions League games? Against the team, they're expected to win that game for sure. They should have won that game, of course. 7-0 was a great result for them. But are they going to be able to keep it together? Are they going to be able to keep it this way, keep their forwards scoring and keep their defense from making silly mistakes? That's the key point with Liverpool. Because as much as changes they've made, the coach is exciting. As you can see, the players are really exciting players. And you want to see them do well. But it's just, they're not consistent enough. And hopefully this can turn them around and give them more confidence, give them the confidence they need to move forward, and hopefully they won't make defensive mistakes and their forwards can keep scoring the way they are. But like I said, I love seeing matches with lots of goals, and that was match with a lot of goals. 7 goals. Beautiful. I loved it. And PSG versus Anderlecht. PSG did what PSG does, has been doing this whole year. Dominating, playing well. Their players that are expecting to score again, they're scoring. They're consistent. They are consistent. They're scoring in every game. They are winning all these games. PSG is a dominating team. They are playing well. Mbappe, Neymar, Cavani, they are scoring goals. That front three is danger. Danger, danger, danger. And they're proving every game why people should be worried about them. They won 4-0, and they had a dominating performance, as I'm sure they will this weekend as well. And Bayern and Celtic. Bayern brought the old coach back to, cover the cracks and help out a little, bring the team back up till they find a new coach. They're turning it around. They're playing well, and they did beat Celtic 3-0. which is a great result for them. You want to see them turn it around, especially after the runs they've been having lately, which have been very disappointing. So good to see Bayern turning things around, and hopefully they can keep it this way. And Barcelona and Olympiacos. Barcelona went down to 10 men. PK with a. Here's the thing with that tackle, with that play, with that goal. The ball came so quick, and when the keeper hit it, deflected out, PK is right next to him. So the amount of time that it takes to reach PK is so little that your mind sometimes kicks in. It's your instincts that do something that you necessarily sometimes you might not want to do. Now it is a yellow card. He did score with his hand. He did reach back. So it was a yellow card. It was a second yellow. But it's kind of harsh because it's an instinct move. You're kind of going on your instincts. It's a very harsh yellow, but it was a second yellow, and he got a red. Barcelona they were up 1-0, and they fell to 10 men. Didn't stop them. They scored 2 more goals after that. And they played very well. And Barcelona had a great game. I can't wait for them to have Dembele back. I think he's going to be a big, big help up there. Taking nothing away from Deulofeu. I just think Deulofeu needs more experience. I don't think he's ready for that stage yet. I really don't like Gomez. I have no idea why he's starting games. I really don't see why when Paulinho is on the bench, Gomez has any business. Gomez being put in there in the starting lineup. When you have Paulinho, when you have even Denis Suarez, I really don't see Gomez as being a Barcelona player. I really don't think he fits the system. I don't think he's a great player. I think it's overrated. I think Barca needs to find a way to cash in this summer, and they need to sell a lot of players, I think. But that's a different story for a different time. But they did play well against Olympiacos, even with 10 men. They finished strong. Olympiacos did get a goal back, but it was not enough for a comeback, and Barcelona took the game. And it was great Champions League matches. I really loved it. I love Champions League, and so does everyone else. It is the biggest tournament other than the World Cup, I believe, because, you have the top teams, the best teams in the world, coming together and battling it out to see who the best team in the world is for that year, because it does change a lot. But all right, that was Champions League. Let's get into some league games. Last weekend, if you missed it, a lot of great matches. The numbers are getting closer and closer, and it's just making them more exciting. So, let's go. Let's start with La Liga. The league games. Actually, let's start with EPL, because there is a lot of good games in the EPL, and some games that made teams drop points. But anyways, for the Premier League, we had Liverpool Man U 0-0, Burnley West Ham 1-1, Crystal Palace beat Chelsea 2-1, Man City beat Stoke City 7-2, Swansea beat Huddersfield Town 2-0, Tottenham beat Bournemouth 1-0, Watford beat Arsenal 2-1, and Brighton and Everton tied 1-1, Southampton Newcastle 2-2, Leicester City and West Brom 1-1. Those were the results for the weekend for the Premier League. And great matches, exciting matches. Man City, dominating performance, continuing their dominance in that league. 7 goals against Stoke, which is not an easy thing to do. You have to give credit to Man City. They kept that pressure right on there. 3 points, not only 3 points, but 7 goals. That's a lot. That's a lot of goals against Stoke. Let's not forget Stoke is a great team. So not taking any credits away from that. But before we get into that, let's get into the standings for the Premier League. We have Man City at first, obviously. We have Man City in first with 22 points. Man United with second with 20 points. Tottenham in third with 17 points. Watford in fourth with 15 points. Chelsea in fifth with 13 points. Man U and Man City right there fighting it out still, which is great to see. Man U dropped points. They played it safe at Anfield, which makes you question, could they have won that game? I think Man U could have won that game if they would have pressed up, if they would have tried to use Lukaku more, if they would have tried to push more up and try to get some goals. They could have. Jose Mourinho was happy with the 1 point. I think he went for that one. He went for the 1 point. He went for the draw in Anfield, which is not easy to get. And he did it. Defensively, he is a defensive-minded player, a defensive-minded coach. He does want to defend, but you can't criticize him because they do get a lot of goals. They've had a ton of goals in their games. So some of these games that he's playing careful, you can't criticize him in a bad way. I know it's boring matches. I know it ruins the game. Sure, it does. But they're getting the result they want. At the end of the game, Man U wants to keep up with Man City and wants to get the Premier League title. They want that title just as bad as Man City does. And I said it from the beginning, it's a Manchester year, and I still believe it is. And Man City are looking like they are the favorites so far. And Man U are trying everything to keep that race on, to stay right behind them, which they are. It's one game can determine anything in this league right now. So it's still, again, you can criticize them for playing a boring style defensive match and trying to get that 1 point. But at Anfield, 1 point is a good result. And I'm sure Jose Mourinho and Man U fans are delighted with that result, or satisfied with that result. And they're trying to hope that they'll get the 3 in the next one. But, it does make for a boring match. I think the match was very boring. I think Liverpool was the better side. Man U was the better defensive side. Man U has been playing very well, and you have to give them credit. You can't. I know the style of playing might not be everyone's favorite, but they are getting the results that they're wanting. They're getting the results they're needing as well. So, it is what it is. But Man City, dominating performance against Stoke. I don't know. Man City's looking very dominant. They might take it. They might do it if they can be more consistent. Aguero is out. There's no Aguero in there. When Aguero gets back, what are they going to do then? They have all that attacking power. They have, they literally have everything you need up there. So they're a very dangerous team up there. But can they be more? Can they keep it consistent? And can they keep their defense in line and not concede much goals either? Because that's the point. You have to keep your defense has to try to get clean sheets. This is the Premier League. Anything can happen at any day. Any result is possible. So you can't just keep counting on your players to keep scoring goals, and that will do it for you. If your defense keeps letting goals in, well, 3-4 goals out, 3-4 goals in, it's a draw. So, or a loss. But anyways, they have been playing very well. They're dominating performance by them. I really think they might take it. The way Man U is playing, Um, I think Man City are going to take it if they keep this up. Man U is playing too careful, and I don't know how many games they can keep that on without another team breaking in eventually and giving a goal and beating them 1-0, or or drawing, or keep drawing and keep slipping points, because yes, draw is a great, especially away in Anfield, but how many draws can you take? If City keeps on taking 3 points and you keep getting one, what does that mean for you? So, something else to keep in mind. Crystal Palace beating Chelsea. Not surprised. Chelsea's dealing with a lot of injuries. They're not playing with the confidence that champions should play with, and you see it in that game. And Crystal Palace played very well, and they earned those points. So great game. And Arsenal losing to Watford 2-1. Watford. Arsenal. I've been saying it about Arsenal. They're not playing with confidence. They're not playing with balls. They don't. The coach is not putting. They don't have any energy. They're just playing. And the Europa League game that they just had, they barely won. They barely won with a goal that Giroud himself said it was a lucky goal. Arsenal have problems, and Arsenal. I really don't even think Arsenal will be in the Champions League next year. I'm sure they're going to lose their big players this coming summer or January. Probably even January. Ozil, there's already talks of Ozil leaving to Man U, which, why wouldn't you go? Why would you not go? Man U is working on something. They're moving forward. Arsenal is stuck, they're in quicksand. They're moving backwards. They're not going anywhere forward. As long as Wenger is in charge, they're not going to move forward. Wenger is not taking this team forward. Wenger is finished. He has been finished for a while now. I really respect him. Well, I used to respect him a lot. I really liked him a lot. But the more and more times, the more and more years go on, and he stays, it's like, do you even care? Do you even care about your team? Do you even care about Arsenal? You know what the problem is. Leave. It's time to go. You've done well. You did well. Leave. You're not going to win a Champions League. You're just not. I'm sorry, but you're not. You're not going to win a Premier's League. You need to go. Wenger needs to go. All these teams are bringing in new coaches, new energy, new styles. Arsenal is just stuck with the same bullshit, and it's like they're not going anywhere. You're not going to win anything. Couple of FA trophies here and there, really? Is that satisfying to you? Is that satisfying for Arsenal fans? Disappointing. Very disappointing. I think Wenger should just step aside. But I doubt he will. I'm sure he's gonna I'm sure he'll have a job next year as well, as he's asked for the past few years that he doesn't deserve. So, but anyways, that's the least of Arsenal's problems, as they are on the verge of losing big players, and I guarantee you this January and this summer they will lose key players. Watch. Hopefully they don't, because that would be horrible, but they will. And Chelsea and Man U injuries, they both have injuries to key players, big players, which are showing, especially in Chelsea. Man U's still up there playing well, but they are missing key players, and Jose Mourinho took a little jab at Conte over saying stuff about injuries, saying that he doesn't like to complain about injuries like other managers and stuff. That's the thing you like about Jose Mourinho. Any league he's in, he makes him more exciting. He's so controversial. He's just always trying to get things going, trying to get some fire started. And I love it. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I think it makes things more exciting. And imagine the next game with Chelsea and Man U. It'll make things even more exciting. So, he knows what he's doing. He's a calculated guy. Yes, he's crazy, but he's a smart crazy. But anyway, that's what's going on in the English Premier League, and there are going to be some great matches coming up this weekend. we're going to have Chelsea and Watford. Manchester United, Chelsea and Watford, Man U and Huddersfield, Man City and Burnley, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Stoke City and Bournemouth, Swansea and Leicester, Southampton and West Bromwich, and Everton and Arsenal, Tottenham and Liverpool. Great matches coming up this weekend. I think the big one is the Tottenham and Liverpool. Tottenham trying to stay in the title race. Liverpool trying to get back in the title race. That's going to be a great match. Two great teams. And that's definitely one game I'm not going to miss. So I think Man U is going to win. I think Arsenal is going to beat Everton. I think Arsenal is going to try to turn things around. I think they'll win that game against Everton. You never know. Everton's a great team, and they can punish Arsenal. So, And I think Stoke will win, and Leicester will win, and Southampton will win, and Man City will win, and Chelsea will win. I could be wrong. Those are just my guess. But those are games coming up this weekend. Don't miss them. I won't. Let's get into some La Liga talk. Some La Liga matches that happened this weekend, in case you missed it. Great matches. Big games. One of the big ones was Atletico and Barcelona. But let's get into the standing first. We have Barcelona in first place with 22. Valencia in second with 18. Real Madrid in third with 17. Atletico in fourth with 16. Sevilla in fifth with 16 also. So, close league. And great matches this weekend, starting out with Atletico and Barca. Atletico caused Barca to miss out on two important points to keep that, that distance from other teams. Atletico played well. They really did. And it was a 1-1 game. I thought, I had a feeling it was going to be a draw, 1-1. I was hoping for more goals and more excitement. It was a great game. It was a good game. It was excitement in there. But I had a feeling it would have been a 1-1 match. And Atletico is a tough team. I mean, Barca had to get a late goal to get that equalizer. And if any team can hold teams to a 1-0 game, is Atletico. They're a very tough team defensively as well. They're very tough. Their players fight, and they're a great team. They really are. That's one of the teams that's not looked at as much as they should. They've been in a few Champions League finals in the past 4 years. They really are a top team. They really do deserve more recognition. But they did give Barcelona their first draw, and that'll sting for the Barca fans and the Barca team that wanted those 3 points to keep that gap. So, but Madrid was not impressive at all this weekend. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get into the results. Let me get into the results first, and then we'll get back into the talk with the Madrid. Madrid team has not been in form lately. I don't know. Do you think you're finally seeing the overrated Zidane effects? Maybe? I don't know. But, anyways, we had Espanyol tying Levante 0-0, Athletic Club beating Sevilla 1-0, Real Madrid beating Getafe 2-1, Real Sociedad beating Alaves 2-0, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona tying 1-1, Eibar Deportivo tying 0-0, And Villarreal beating Girona 2-1. Leganes beating Malaga 2-0. Valencia beating Real Betis 6-3. And Celta Vigo beating Las Palmas 5-2. Those are the results for La Liga for the past weekend, and there's a lot of good matches coming up this weekend as well. But back to Real Madrid, they were not impressive at all. I thought they had a late goal and they got the equalizer. Ronaldo got the winner, but they haven't been impressive lately in La Liga or Champions League anywhere. They continued that bad form in this game, I believe. I think they easily could have drew this game or even perhaps lost. And I don't know what's going on with them. I guess it's normal for teams to hit this type of bad form here and there. But we're talking about 4 or 5 games maybe where they really haven't looked like they should. So they need to, hopefully they get that confidence back and they can get it together. But they are still getting the result. 3 points. That's 2-1. It is 3 points. 3 very, very needed points. They really needed those 3 points to stay on top, to stay right behind Barcelona, to stay right in the title race, because Barca has been very impressive in the league, even though they did tie Atletico, but it is Atletico, a tough team. So, but another thing about Madrid, I think Benzema has been very disappointed lately, maybe even the last 2 years. He's never been like a striker that's had a ton of goals, and maybe because he does play with some superstars that do score a lot of goals, such as Ronaldo, he's scoring most of their goals. But for a striker in his position, playing with those players, those midfields, you would think he would have a lot more goals than he does. He's not very consistent, and I think he might. I don't know. I don't think he's as good as he was. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all the problems he's had off the field with the blackmailing and stuff, and who knows. But he really has been disappointing for the past couple of years, I think. I think it's been really overrated. I think for a team like Madrid to have a striker that's very inconsistent like Benzema is pretty disappointing. So, but who knows? And again, I'm not impressed with few of the players in Barcelona as well, like Deulofeu, like Gomez. Gomez has no business being on that team. Has no business being on the starting lineup. He's not a good player. I mean, he's a professional player. That's great. He's not a good player to play in Barcelona. He's not. Maybe he'll fit some other system. He can do well somewhere else. But he does not fit the Barcelona system. He is not a good player. He had one good tackle last game. That's it. That was his highlight. He's not a player that will help out in any way. He has not helped out in any way at all. And I think he needs to go. Barcelona needs to do some cleaning and bring in some players. They need to get rid of Turan. They need to get rid of Gomez. They need to get rid of Paco. They need to get rid of some of these players that are worthless on the team. They're of no use. Absolutely no use. They are no help. Zero help. Get rid of them. Bring in Coutinho. Bring in some other players. Get rid of these players. These players don't belong there. I'd rather even see Paulinho start instead of Gomez. I really think it's ridiculous that Gomez even gets the nod to start. What do you see in him? I really don't see what these coaches see in him. And the coach as well. I really don't see this coach as being any different as Luis Enrique. Really, just something new. He doesn't have balls. He's no Guardiola. He's not a team. He's not a coach. He's not a big coach for a team like Barcelona. He's just not. And as the players, the quality of players they have, they should be doing better. And I think that coach is not very good. I really don't. I mean, that's fine. He has been getting good results lately, and but I just don't. I don't think he's the right coach for Barcelona. who am I to say anything? Maybe he's the right man. Maybe we just need to give him some time. We'll see. But that's pretty much it in La Liga. And in Serie A, we are in Bundesliga, sorry. We have Dortmund in first with 19 points, Bayern in second with 17 points, Leipzig in third with 16 points, Schalke in fourth with 16 points, Hoffenheim in fifth with 15 points. Very close. That league is very close. And Dortmund is still in first place, but Bayern is turning things around. Let's get into the results for the weekend. Bayern is turning things around, which is a good sign for them, which was worrying for a lot of Bayern fans, I'm sure. Hopefully they can keep it this way, and maybe this summer they can bring in the players they need and fill in those gaps, and they can find the right coach. They did bring in their old coach to help out until they do find a new coach, which is very crucial at this point for Bayern, because that is a huge team in Europe. That's a big team, biggest team in Germany as well. So these results are not good. They're disappointing results for a team like that, such as Bayern. So, but all right, we had Hannover and Frankfurt. Frankfurt beating Hannover 2-1. Mainz beating Hamburg 3-2. Schalke beating Berlin 2-0. Hoffenheim and Augsburg tying 2-2. Bayern beating Freiburg 5-0. Leipzig beating Dortmund 3-2. Bayern Leverkusen and Wolfsburg tying 2-2. Borussia Gladbach beating Bremen 2-0. Bayern getting back on track. Dortmund dropping points. Disappointing for Dortmund fans, as they could have 3 points would have put them 5 points ahead. They would have been pretty nice and had a comfortable 5-point gap, which is early and not saying much, but still it would have made them more comfortable. I think they would have had an easier time in their next few games. But Bayern keeping the pressure on them, right there behind Dortmund. One game will change the results. So more excitement in Bundesliga now that that's happened. And speaking of Bayern, their coach that was just fired from that, Ancelotti, might be the next Croatia coach. Good luck to him. He was a good coach. I just think he didn't fit that German system. He didn't fit that German style of football. And it showed, obviously. And hopefully he can do well somewhere else. Good luck to him. And Bayern might be losing some players, including Vidal. Vidal has been saying he's a big fan of the Serie A, and he does like Inter, and he was playing in the Juve. Inter is a big fan of Vidal, and they might go after him, and he might go. The way things are looking in Bayern, he might go. And Bayern really need to figure out what's going on. They really need to spend some money. Something Bayern doesn't really do normally as much as other teams. But I think this summer things are going to change, because they're going to realize they need to start spending big money if they want to compete, especially in Champions League, because they're not going to compete in Champions League with the players they have now. That's just fact. But again, Bundesliga, close and exciting. And we have Serie A. In Serie A, we have Napoli in first with 24. Inter Milan in second with 22. Juventus in third with 19. Lazio in fourth with 19. Roma in fifth with 15. Napoli still in first place, keeping their spot up there. And Inter taking that second spot. And results for the weekend were we have, oh, excuse me. Inter played very well. The Milan Derby was this weekend as well. That was a match to see. If you missed it, you really missed a great match. Because for one, it's a derby. For two, it's two Milans that are both on their way up, I believe. Both on their way back up. And it showed in this game. A lot of goals, a lot of excitement, late goal thriller. It was great. I loved it. I love all these games. I'm just a fan that loves all these games. But anyways, we had Lazio beating Juventus 2-1, Napoli beating Roma 1-0, Fiorentina beating Udinese 2-1, Bologna beating Spal 2-1, Genoa beating Cagliari 3-2, Coronte and Torino tying 2-2, Sampdoria beating Atlanta 3-1, Fiorentina beating Sassuolo and Verona tying 0-0, and of course the derby, Inter beating AC Milan 3-2. Great matches. The Juve slipping points again. I don't know. I think Juve lost some good players, and they're not a consistent team this season especially. I think they need to buy some new players. They definitely do. I think they do need a striker for sure, and I think maybe a new coach. He does well in Champions Leagues, but it's not doing so well this season. So, who knows? But I think they do need to get a new striker. I think there needs to be some better help for Dybala up there. But again, Lazio is a great team. Lazio is in fourth place for a reason. They're up there for a reason. They have been playing very well this year, and it shows. They beat Juventus, who are the champions, who are the big team in Italy. And Napoli beating Roma, that was a good game. Napoli want that number one spot. They wanted to fight for those 3 points to stay up there with a good gap, and they did. They won that game against a tough Roma team. Roma is a tough team, as you see in the Champions League with Chelsea. They're very tough. They have goal scorers. They have great players, and Napoli beat them in Roma 1-0. So that's a big result for Napoli. They're on the right track, and it's great. I love to see that. Now I love to see Inter in second place, and I love to see other teams other than Juve doing well in Italy as well. It just makes Serie A more exciting. It makes it a bigger league again. We're talking about Serie A, a huge league. So it's great to see this again. It's great to see AC Milan coming back, trying to fight back up. Inter Milan coming back up. Inter Milan in second place with a great win over AC Milan in the derby. Icardi with his hat-trick, the hat-trick hero in the derby. That's even a bigger deal. That's a huge deal for him. I'm sure he's not going to forget that. And a late penalty is what got them to win. But a late penalty in extra time in the derby with every fan screaming and all the pressure on you. You're in a tie game. All the pressure is on you. Beautifully put away. No pressure at all. Finished it wonderfully. Got the winner. Celebrated with style. The messy celebration. And showed why he is one of the top strikers in the world. But great match. I thought it was a great match. A lot of excitement. Great goals. You want to see goals, and these two teams battle. They really did battle it out. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I hope you didn't miss it. Because if you did, you missed a great game. But that's what's going on in the Serie A. last but not least, we're going to get into some League One. Oh. By the way, the matches that are coming up in the Serie A this weekend. All these matches are the schedules are going to be on our social medias, our channels. We're going to post all of that up. But the game that's going to be very exciting to watch is going to be the Napoli and Inter game. I'm really looking forward to that game. Number 1 and 2 spot fighting. I really do want to see that game. That's going to be a great match. But it'll be Napoli Napoli and Inter. Those will be the matches to watch. And again, I don't want to take any more time by going to all these games. Look on the schedules on our social media. We have them all posted. And it'll tell you the time and the date on all the games. So, we have in League One, PSG in first place with 25. Monaco in second with 19. Marseille in third with 17. Etienne with 17 in fourth, and Nantes with 17 in fifth. Third, fourth, and fifth all have 17. Close. Very close. But PSG is 6 points ahead of Monaco, who are in second place. PSG is winning this league. I don't care what anybody said. I said it from the beginning of this year. This is PSG's year, and they're going to win it. Period. Don't think they'll win the Champions League, but they're going to win this league. League One's getting exciting. These players, young players, they're bringing all this young talent they're bringing. It's getting more and more exciting. Monaco's doing very well. Let's get into the results for the weekend. We had excuse me. We had Lille beating tying Troyes 2-2. Etienne beating Metz 3-1. Toulouse beating Amiens 1-0. Bordeaux and Nantes tying 1-1. Montpellier beating Nice 2-0. Strasbourg tying Marseille 3-3. Lyon beating Monaco 3-2. PSG beating Dijon 2-1. Angers beating Caen 2-0. Guingamp beating Rennes 2-0. And that's it. Great matches. PSG, tough match for them, I think, but they won 2-1. Monaco slipped points. More disappointment for them. PSG got 3. Monaco got nothing. So puts PSG in the better spot to winning the league. As I said, I think they are going to win the league, and they are the league favorites, and they're a fantastic team. Well deserved to be favorites in that league. Look at the players they have. Look at how consistent their players are. All of them are scoring. They're all scoring. They're playing very well. They're definitely on the right track to winning the Champions League one day. But this year they're winning the league for sure, in my opinion. But a lot of great matches coming up this weekend. I believe PSG plays Marseille, which will be a very tough game for them as well. Again, look on our site, on our social media for all our schedules. We're going to post all the schedules, Champions League, all the leagues. Stay tuned and we'll give you all the info. And I believe that'll do it for all the leagues. I think we covered all the leagues and the Champions League. Look out for the games this weekend. And we're going to come back to you right after those games with another episode going over those games and more news. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you aren't following us, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, on Futlife TV, and on Twitter at Futlife TV 1. We post all the news, all the schedules, all the results, and of course this wonderful podcast. So please stay tuned and join us for the next one. Thank you all.